What's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love? It's when Indy mounts her Dexter. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE NXT, a show that had good video packages, matches that certainly happened, some bad comedy, so yeah, it was a typical hodgepodge of shit on a tape show, but they're off of Sci-Fi after this, back on USA, because the Olympics are done. They've been a goddamn dumpster fire, haven't they? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're speeding towards TakeOver 36, and speaking of, we get recaps of Joe winning Cross at TakeOver 36. And speaking of TakeOver 36, because I've mentioned TakeOver 36 so many goddamn times, I must come up with another name, but I can't, because I got too many things I gotta say about this episode. Let's just say it's not TakeOver 69, because it's not that nice yet, and who knows if we'll get to TakeOver 69. Maybe the world will end. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. So, will Indy and Dexter be able to live? Because they can't live without you. Can't live anymore. I promise you I will stop singing these songs when pigs fly, and the pig flies. Will I stop singing these songs now? No, I still prefer to sing because I'm really, really bad at singing, and why not make these reviews as weirdly entertaining as possible? So anyway, I can't stand Hit Row except for Swerve. I like Swerve, and I probably wouldn't mind them as much, except there's so many goddamn stables that, in wrestling in general, but in WWE, and I'm talking NXT, Raw, SmackDown, maybe even NXT UK, I don't know if there's any stables, I don't know if they have enough roster members to make a goddamn stable. They barely have enough roster members to make much of a show, but maybe if there were like 3 or 4 less stables, I might not mind Hit Row so much, but it's just not clicking with me. I like Swerve. I really like Swerve, and I'm glad he's being featured. And I also need to be reminded during commentary he's a North American champion. I genuinely forgot because everybody's got a goddamn title. There's so many championships. They have almost as many championships as they have roster members. Almost as many championships as they've had rounds of releases. And that's saying something. Wilder Mendoza with Escobar took on Hit Row, the guy from WWE's Most Wanted Treasures, Adonis, Swerve, and whoever the woman is in the group. I don't actually remember her name. Was it B-Fab, B-Roll? I think I don't really remember what her name is. So anyway, I didn't care. I didn't care. The action was fine, but I didn't care. This is my analysis of it. Escobar hits the big guy with the chair, causing a DQ. Why is this feud still going? Why is this feud a thing? Why are there so many factions in wrestling? These are the important questions. And Legoland basically is about to knock Swerve out. Well, they knocked him out, and then they were about to, put a chair on his neck, and that's a bit violent. And then the woman comes in and hits him with a chair. And I guess B-Roll hits one of them with a chair, and we're still doing this feud. Why? You know what? Make it like 3 count in the Young Dragons. Have a recording contract and a gold record on, for them to climb up a ladder and get. And what's Tank Abbott doing? Get the equivalent of Tank Abbott on this show and do that. I mean, I don't know. They might as well go full-blown WCW 2000 with how much shit they're doing. So, then Regal tells Joe, hey, all these security guys that used to work with you, they're going to make sure that you behave. Then we get Ridge Holland coming back with Dunn and Lorcan against Ikemen Jiro. The jacket was louder than any of the reactions in this match, and Ridge Holland beat him pretty quickly. Was what it was. I did kind of like how, Wade was like, who wrestles in a jacket? Who throws a shoe? Honestly. So, Dunn then calls out Ciampa and says, he'll be destroyed, Thatcher will be destroyed, everybody will be destroyed. Everybody gets destroyed. Who's going to team up with Ciampa and Thatcher? Genuinely. Are they going to have Birch come back, and is he going to team up with them because he's been left in the dust? Because he had that separated shoulder, and he ought to be coming back any time now, I think. So, Frankie Monet is upset she lost last week, blames it on Robert Stone. To be fair, that's a safe bet every time because of how this gimmick has gone. And Jessica Kamea just towering over everybody. And I'm not knocking her. I think she's got potential. I like Frankie Monet. I like her as Ty Valkyrie. I like her here. And this group needs to be rebuilt under Frankie's image. Frankie's vision. Frankie's Franken image. Franken hell. So anyway, Bobby Fish versus Roderick Strong with Diamond Mine. The Undisputed Era explodes again and again, forever and a day that's never. And look, it was well wrestled, but sorry. It's another one that NXT just some weeks just doesn't grab me. It just doesn't. And that's not to say that the level of work isn't good. Fish and Strong did some great stuff. There was some great groundwork, some great backbreakers, some very good strikes. These two know each other really well, so it was a great wrestling match. But I just don't care about the storyline. I just don't. Because again, Diamond Mine, and regardless of how talented the members are, apparently this Suzuki guy that's in there, the Japanese guy, apparently he's really, really good. I should go back and check out more of his stuff. People have been telling me to do that. Just again, so many factions. So he does hit a backbreaker variation for 3. So Roderick Strong gets a victory. Cool. Now he's going to face Kushida. So we get Knight talking to Grimes, and I hate the storyline. I hate it because it's trying to recreate Virgil and Ted DiBiase, except, oh yeah, there were more people watching back then. Granted, both these guys are better than Virgil could have ever been on his best day, and Knight and Grimes on their worst day are infinitely better than Virgil or Vincent, who took a terrible diamond cutter on, on a Nitro and also on a pay-per-view. Because he looked impressive, and that was about it. So he says, you're a man of your word. If you've got my back, I've got yours. Oh yeah, by the way, polish my boot. Yes, sir. They got a tag match against the Grizzled Young Veterans. And, oh yeah, and then that tag match is next. I thought it'd be later in the show. Nope. The Grizzled Hung Veterans, as I call them, they're soon to be rectimized as the tag team champions. They've been saying this for 2 fucking years. And Knight and Grimes versus the Grizzled Hung Veterans. I'm going to keep saying that. I'm not supposed to care about this match, am I? Good, because I didn't. I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting on NXT, because it's nothing against the athletes. It's a presentation. It's just there. I'm glad they got fans back, but a lot of the fans don't really seem to give a shit. And people are like, oh, they should go back to Full Sail. I'm like, Full Sail crowds are kind of shit anyway. But who knows if they're going to be able to tour that much, given everything that's been going on, because some people don't want to get their vaccines, because they're crying about it. So anyway, yes, it's your body, your choice, and guess what? It's also our choice to mock you, because we want to actually be able to live. We do want to live, and we want other people to live. Maybe except the brainless twats. That's why Drake Wirtz got fired. Hooray! Good things happening. So, it was fine. There was a hot tag to Grimes, and then, oh no, suddenly Knight, abandoned him. Like, no, ha ha ha, you're on your own. And then Ticket to Mayhem 1, 2, 3, and then Ted DiBiase comes down and says to Grimes, I know you're a man of your word, but you got to figure a way to get out of this situation. Blast him in the head with the $1 Million Championship. We're almost on the 30-year, no, we're past the 30-year anniversary of that. Why not do it? What's old is new again. So anyway, Samoa Joe video package. All about, what he's done in NXT, including clips of a house show from Lowell, Massachusetts. Wrestle Rant, you were there. And I know you popped like crazy. And that was an unexpected title change at a house show. That proves anything can happen in the WWE except interesting stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Dakota, and Raquel. Nice video package. I let Raquel get those victories. She blames Raquel for not for taking the shot that Io should have given to her. That should have been me. It should have been me, Ziggler. What the fuck are you even doing here? What the fuck was that storyline that Ziggler kept doing? So yeah, Dakota, nice video package, good stuff, good promos. I look forward to seeing this match and seeing Raquel basically destroy her, and Dakota not get the victory and then get called up. And maybe she'll become SmackDown Women's Champion by the end of the year. Who the hell knows? So then or some kind of champ. I just think Dakota's going to end up being the one called up because Raquel, I'm not saying she needs a dominant run, but I have a feeling they're going to give her a dominant run. Gargano basically says he will beat Loomis, and him and Candice tried to sound interesting, and I snoozed. And Joe Gacy, look at the power of Gacy. Man, there's no clown around with this guy, and if you get that, you get that. Nothing against him. Well, when I heard the name Gacy, all I'm going to say is I had waning interest in being able to resist making those jokes. We get a video package on O'Reilly taking out Cole, and Adam Cole was taken to a local medical facility for various injuries and anal bleeding. What? Wow. That will continue to live on. I have no idea why they thought that was a good idea. Trey Baxter versus Joe Wayne Gacy. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I can't fucking help it. Power versus speed. It wasn't bad. Joe does have some impressive size and threw him around, and Trey kept fighting back, hit a few dives, and eventually hit a 450 into a stomp. That's impressive. 1, 2, 3, and advances in the breakout tournament. I don't remember who they said he was going to face. Was it Odyssey Jones? I think so. There's only 4 people left in the tournament now, so it's 1 of 3. And then Io and Zoe are at a sushi bar, and Zoe was being Zoe-phobic, if you will. Good fucking grief. Who scripted this? Who thought this was a good idea? So it was bad comedy, terrible comedy. And then she's practically insulting the waitress. Says, are you from Japan? No, Kansas. Why did you say that? Well, because we speak the same language. The fuck was this? Why? Why did they do this? There's a stark contrast to anything else they could have done. Aha. So, Indy is pulling for Loomis. I'm going to let that marinate right there in your heads. All I'm going to say is Indy distracted me because she was in those. Indy looked great tonight. And Indy has talent. They've been really pushing this whole thing with Indy and Loomis. And then we get to Karrion Kross suddenly, disrupting the announcers table area, the announcers area, and calls out Joe. And then Joe fights through all security. And apparently one of them was Rick Steiner's son. He didn't have the earmuffs on. And if you get that reference, boy, you loved watching WCW like I did. And he choked out Rick Steiner's son. I actually forget his name. I apologize. And he's like, Kross. And then Walter Dragunov 2, Electric Boogaloo video package. Great stuff. I look forward to this. I'm glad they're having it in front of a crowd. I'm glad they're featuring an NXT UK match, a title match on another takeover, since they haven't really been able to have any NXT UK takeovers because, the pandemic and all that, and the restrictions and the lockdowns and all that, because people aren't being smart, but at least they're going to have it in front of a crowd. I think they maybe need to make this takeover a little bit longer, but given some of the feuds that just aren't all that good, I don't mind them putting Walter versus Dragunov 2 on here. But I get why some people might not like it, like keep the UK brand separate. But let's be honest, a lot of people really aren't watching the UK brand. If you can bring a few more eyes over there, like say, hey, this is really good, you got to watch it, then maybe they'll get a boost. And Walter versus Dragunov last year is one of the best matches I've seen in many, many years. I have no idea how those two guys are alive, especially Dragunov. Fucking one of my favorite matches of the year. And then Kushida accepts Sting's challenge because I can write Strong's challenge. Man, actually it would be funny if Roderick Strong ever faced Sting. The Messiah of the back row, oh, that's it. Anyway, Gargano versus Loomis, lover or loser match. Because, it worked out so well at SummerSlam 99 when infinitely more people were watching than now. Indy shows up and goes under the ring to get to Loomis and does God knows what. I'm kidding. These two crazy kids have found each other. And Candice comes down. They pull her out of the ring and she's holding on to Loomis. And Candice and Gargano continue to do their shit. Antics abound. Loomis at one point, brushes her cheek when he gets to the ropes and stuff like that. Okay, that was nice. And then he accidentally bumps Indy off, not meaning to, checks on her, and then gets hit with a DDT outside. One final beat inside. 1, 2, 3. And then Indy's leaving with him. Oh, no, I got to lose him. Oh, I'm not going to. Psych. She mounts him, and Indy and Loomis, it's the index in her decks, because that's practically what it was. And, well, I'm not saying that Loomis is lucky, except that's exactly what I'm saying. My God, he's lucky to do that. And, okay, cool. Love conquers all. That's how that works, right? Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.